We want the people who populate our stories to be living, breathing people, not simply a name on the page. But how exactly do we go about doing that? That's what bite 38 in my book, Eating an Elephant, Write Your Life One Bite at a Time, addresses. Hi, my name is Patricia, and welcome to episode 33 of the Life Writers Vlog, where you can find inspiration and useful tips to help you write your life stories. On the first Thursday of every month, we crack open Eating an Elephant and see what we can find inside. As I said, we are going to look at bite number 38, and this one is called profiling. Profiling. This is a good way to start bringing people to life on the page. And we use a technique called profiling. Now, this isn't the profiling we see police do in crime shows, where they analyze a person's psychological and behavioral characteristics to find who the suspect is. This is a different kind of profiling, one that helps us write about people in our lives in a more authentic and genuine way. If you've been around me for more than a minute, you know how useful I find list making is before we actually start to write. I encourage people to do that no matter what they're writing, to make a list, get warmed up before you actually start to write sentences and paragraphs and stories. When you're writing about people, making a list of their characteristics can prove to be really helpful. I suggest you try this first with someone in your life who isn't a major player, like mom or dad or a sibling. Find someone who is important in your life, but not necessarily that key of a person. The one I used in here is a teacher. She was my first grade teacher. Her name was Miss Veeder. I set aside 5 to 10 minutes and wrote a quick list of all that I could remember about Miss Vida. So here are some of the things I wrote. Approximately 5'8", soft gray eyes, short hair, curly at the ends, a mixture of brown and gray. Usually wore a decorative pin. She wore long skirts and white shirts always. She had a gap between her front two teeth. She had liver spots on her hands. She hugged us all every day. She was a teacher for 37 years. She had graduated from college in 1931, which is really a big deal. And she taught for 31 years in the same classroom. She taught both me and my mother in that classroom. And she never married. Those are some of the things. That's not everything I've got on my list about Ms. Veeder, but that was a good start. This list includes different types of description. There's information in here about her physical appearance, about her disposition. There's some background details about her. This list was so valuable when I wrote about her. When you make a list like this, it's helping you to remember this person and to get some details you can use. Doesn't mean you're going to use everything you write. You don't want to just load it down with details and description. You want to pick and choose which ones help you to help the reader experience this person as you did. One thing I have on the list here is that she shied away from the limelight. I wrote a feature story about her for a local newspaper when I still lived in Louisiana, but she would not let me print it until after her death. She didn't want to call that kind of attention to herself. So after she died, we published it as a tribute to her. What I would like for you to do is pick a person from your life, someone who is important to a story you want to write. Then set the timer for 5 or 10 minutes, no longer than 10 minutes, and make a list of everything you can think of about that person. Don't write complete sentences. Do as I read to you here, just a couple, two, three words, just enough to remember what it was you were thinking about. And don't censor yourself. Just write whatever comes to you. If it really doesn't apply, then you just don't have to use it. Then tell us how you did with your list. Did any of the items that came up for you surprise you? Maybe something you hadn't thought about in years bubbled up to the surface. How do you plan to use this information when you're writing a story? So tell us about it in the comments section down below. And always remember with writing, the only way to do this wrong is to not do it at all. The only way to do it wrong is to not do it at all. If you liked what you just watched, sign up to be notified of future vlog posts, Sunday stories, and upcoming events. You can use the buttons down below to share this episode on social media or with a friend who might enjoy it. Hey, happy writing, everybody.
If you enjoyed this week's episode, you will love our Life Writers membership. Whether you don't know where to start writing your life stories, have started and stopped many times, or have been writing but want to receive feedback to make your stories better, the Life Writers membership is where you need to be. We have a Get Started roadmap, an extensive library of instructional videos, live events via Zoom, and a supportive and active community. If you want to take the stories that live in your heart and mind and put them onto the page, check out Life Writers at lifewriters.us.